Hinata, Tachibana, and Tsukasa Jinguuji were friends in their youth. Hinata desires a girlfriend but is ignored by women due to Jinguuji's handsome appearance. Despite the fact that Jinguuji distrusts women, Hinata drunkenly fantasizes about being a woman. Hinata is assassinated by a goddess of love. Jinguuji regains consciousness in a new world and discovers Hinata has been transformed into a lovely young lady. They were reincarnated by the goddess to be heroes and defeat a demon lord, with Hinata even transformed into a girl as he wished. Jinguuji is enraged that his female friend refuses to obey, and goddess curses them with the desire to save the world. They are both aware of their attraction to one another but conceal it from one another. Hinata makes an unsuccessful attempt to ascertain whether Jinguuji likes her, whereas Jinguuji finds the combination of Hinata's personality in a female body enticing, but is determined not to fall in love. They are forced to flee when a creature appears. With Jinguuji carrying Hinata, Jinguuji dispatches the creature with a single punch, revealing that it possesses stats and abilities. Jinguuji is a skilled fighter, whereas Hinata possesses almost nothing but her beauty. Jinguuji experiments with one of his abilities, causing a modern-looking door to appear in front of them. The door opens into a recreation of Hinata's home. They eat the only food available and Hinata dresses up in her sister's gown. They travel to a village and discover it is under attack by bandits. All of the bandits fall in love with Hinata and fight over her, knocking themselves unconscious in the process. The villagers begin to revere Hinata as a goddess. The two decide to attack the bandits' base first after the tied-up bandits reveal they are only the first wave. After reminiscing about how Hinata assisted him with schoolwork as a child, Jinguuji sees Hinata's breasts and freaks out, berserking the bandits. Villagers arrive to lend assistance, and Jinguuji attacks them as well. Hinata inquires as to what is wrong with him, and he reluctantly admits that he admires her, causing her to freak out and slap him. The villagers agree to let the two keep the bandits' loot in exchange for Hinata wearing a less revealing dress. Hinata is secretly pleased that Jinguuji is attracted to her, until she discovers that a torch has been knocked over, igniting a forest fire. The following day, Tellalilo Lilililu, an elf chiefess, awakens to find the forest surrounding her village completely destroyed. Jinguuji tries to sell the pelt of the creature he killed and discovers it was a forest guardian. The villagers are unaware of the demon lord and recommend traveling to a nearby town. He enters Hinata's house and inadvertently walks in on her following a bath. After assisting her in dressing, they return to the village to find Tellalilo and her entourage demanding restitution for the forest fire that claimed their guardian's life. Hinata apologizes, but Jinguuji politely declines, stating that they are both female and worship the goddess of love. Tellalilo is threatened by Hinata's beauty and strips, declaring herself to be the most beautiful woman on the planet. When the villagers assert that Hinata is more beautiful, she responds angrily with magical explosive arrows. Jinguuji hurls a stone at Tellalilo, severing her ponytail and distracting her long enough for her to flee. She swears vengeance and pursues them. The two establish camp, with Jinguuji preparing the guardian's meat. They share beer, but Hinata quickly becomes inebriated, strips, and flees into the wilderness due to her smaller frame. She is on the verge of being devoured by a man-eating plant, but is rescued by Jinguuji. Tellalilo locates and samples the food at their camp, only to be attacked by another man-eating plant. The two arrive in a town, and Jinguuji compels Hinata to wear a paper bag over her head in order to prevent her from charming anyone. Hinata purchases magical hair ornaments that deflect attention away from the wearer at a weapon shop. They are attacked by some of the escaped bandits seeking vengeance, but they are defeated by a swordsman. He identifies himself as Schwartz von Liechtenstein Lohingram, an earthling who has been summoned to be a hero. He recognizes Jinguuji as an earthling based on his clothing, but believes Hinata is indigenous. Unconcerned about the hair ornaments, a smitten Schwartz challenges Jinguuji to a duel for her hand, slicing a building in half with his sword Graham. Before the altercation can continue, Lucius arrests Schwartz for property damage and summons the other two as witnesses. At the police station, Schwartz asserts his heroism and displays a tattoo the goddess of night placed on his hand when she summoned him. But Lucius believes he is lying and the tattoo is a forgery. Jinguuji examines Hinata and discovers a similar tattoo on the back of her neck. The Lord Mercus arrives and informs Schwartz that he will be given a chance to prove himself due to an attack by a living suit of armor. Lucius instructs Jinguuji and Hinata to assist her and Schwartz in locating the armor that has been stripping people naked and stealing their possessions. The armor attacks them. It speaks and identifies itself as Vizd, a demon lord's officer. Schwartz combats it, but Jinguuji orders him to refrain from drawing his destructive sword. Vizd strips him naked and consumes both his clothing and Graham. Lucius opposes it and is stripped as well. Hinata conceals her with her jacket, but the prospect of Hinata being stripped enrages Jinguuji, and he shatters the armor, revealing the true Viz to be a small child. They arrest and question her, while Lucius and Mercus claim they believe the demon lord was a myth. She claims she was imprisoned in the form of a small child and was gathering magical energy to free herself. She is not convinced that Schwartz is the hero. That night, Calm frees Viz from prison and suspects Jinguuji of being the hero. The following day, Hinata reveals to Schwartz that she was once male in order to deter him from hitting on her, which has a devastating effect on him. Additionally, she teaches him how to view his stats, which he was previously unaware of. Schwartz is revealed to be an alias, and he hides his true identity in embarrassment. He experiments with his abilities and inadvertently opens a portal in the sky. The portal is opened by the giant goddess of night, prompting Lucius to apologize for doubting Schwartz. The goddess of night contracts and reveals Hinata as the hero summoned by the goddess of love, armed with Jinguuji. She asks about the whereabouts of the weapon she had given him, Graham, and Schwartz nervously conceals the fact that Viz destroyed it. Mercus approaches Hinata for marriage, desiring the fame that comes with being associated with a hero, but is beaten up by Lucius as the goddess of night departs. Mercus converts his town into a holy site and invites the heroes to remain, but only Schwartz accepts. Hinata and Jinguuji notice Tellalillo bound and gagged in a passing carriage, but disregard it. They travel to a town known for its abundance of squid-based merchandise and purchase food, but Hinata vanishes. Jinguuji locates the carriage from earlier, but it is devoid of passengers. He interrogates the driver and discovers that this town practices human sacrifices with beautiful women. Tellalillo attempts to seduce her captor in order to escape, but another man enters carrying a bound Hinata and declares that she is more beautiful and will be the sacrifice instead. Tellalillo angrily challenges Hinata to a beauty contest. According to the driver, a talking giant squid became the town's god, providing food in exchange for human sacrifices. The driver decides to assist Jinguuji, and together they locate Tellalillo, who is disappointed that their captors chose Hinata as the most beautiful captive. She offers to assist in her quest for vengeance. Jinguuji ties her up and discards her as bait for the giant squid. As night falls, the squid devours her, and Jinguuji attempts to reel it in but finds his strength ebbing away. Meanwhile, Hinata attempts to flee and knocks her hair decorations off, causing her captors and all the men to fall in love, but also provoking an angry mob of jealous women against her. Jinguuji regains his strength when he sees her in danger and hurls the squid, impaling it on a statue. It is still alive, however, and is attempting to devour Hinata. Tellalillo then emerges from its stomach and destroys it, demonstrating to the populace that it is not a god. Vizd and Calm observe them as they celebrate and deduce that Jinguuji loses strength when he is separated from Hinata. Shen, the driver, invites the two to accompany him until they reach Ishruna, the royal capital. They catch a rabbit, and Jinguuji forces Hinata to kill it herself, causing her great distress. Hinata goes to the toilet in her house after eating it. Jinguuji is adamant that Shen tell the truth, as his stats indicate he is a skilled assassin. Jinguuji is weakened by Shen's admission that he poisoned his food prior to attacking him. When Hinata returns, Jinguuji tells her to flee, but Shen claims he is unconcerned about her and is only interested in Jinguuji, raising suspicions that he is gay. Shen pins Jinguuji down for the sole purpose of giving him a back massage, which was all he desired. They arrive in Ishruna with Jinguuji feeling much better, and the two proceed to the temple of the goddess of love in search of information on the demon lord. They will not be admitted unless they wear skimpy swimsuits. Hinata is embarrassed after putting hers on when the others point out that they can be worn underneath their clothes. A pool party orgy is located within the temple. When the public notices Hinata's tattoo, they become enraged, accusing her of blasphemy. They attack, but are repulsed by Jinguuji. The temple is stormed by royal troops, who inform the two that they have been summoned by the goddess of love. Miria, the leader of the troops, brings the two to the king and reveals that Shen works for her. The king explains that a prophecy states that the hero summoned by the goddess of love is destined to defeat the demon lord, and that the kingdom is obligated to assist them. At a banquet, the two become attracted to one another due to their extravagant attire, but get into an argument and part ways. Hinata develops feelings for a girl and intervenes to prevent her from committing suicide. They converse, and Hinata realizes she desires Jinguuji's praise. Later, while Shen is pleading with the two to reconcile, the girl appears and introduces herself as Princess Ugrain. She implores Hinata to take her along on their journey, but Jinguuji and the king refuse, prompting her to flee. Hinata follows her and she explains that her father, the king, has been controlling her life and will not allow her to leave the palace since her mother died giving birth to her. Hinata assists her in escaping, but she quickly gathers followers and ignites a revolt. Miria makes an attempt to apprehend Ugrain, but is apprehended instead. While Jinguuji and Shen contemplate how to extricate Hinata from the rebellion, the king summons assistance. Ugrain's maid joins the rebellion and takes possession of Hinata's hair ornaments. They coerce her into assisting Ugrain in seducing men into joining them. Hinata makes an unsuccessful attempt to free Miria and escape, lamenting her inability to do so without Jinguuji. She recalls a time when Jinguuji defended her original male self against bullies. The maid massages her but also injects dark energy into her tattoo, infusing her with negative thoughts and envy for Jinguuji. Schwartz and Lucius, whom the king has summoned, arrive. Lucius repeatedly slaps Schwartz for his stupidity, but he impresses her by claiming to want to protect civilians. The Revolutionary Army attacks Ishruna, but Schwartz defeats them with a single swing of Gram, which he recovered from Viz's armor. Jinguuji is depressed in the absence of Hinata, but is enraged when Schwartz implies that he is jealous of Ugrain for stealing Hinata. Suddenly, the area begins to tremble. The maid is actually calm, working alongside Viz and infecting Ugrain with dark energy in order to destroy Ishruna. The people who were defeated by Schwartz snapped out of Hinata's spell and fled. So Calm and Viz take Hinata and Ugrain to the royal armory, which can be unlocked only by two people of royal blood. Hinata qualifies as a royal blood relative due to her selection by the goddess of love. They retrieve a giant mecha called Meepon, which Viz pilots to attack Ishruna after knocking out Ugrain and using Hinata as a living battery. While Lucius and Shen evacuate the civilians, Schwartz is forced to fight Meepon alone due to Jinguuji losing his strength after being separated from Hinata for an extended period of time. Jinguuji and Schwartz ride up to Meepon when they realize Hinata is inside, but Jinguuji does not regain his strength. Hinata abruptly awakens and seizes control of Meepon from Viz. She gloats about her newfound strength while still under the influence of the dark energy, then declares her hatred and envy for Jinguuji and attempts to crush him. Schwartz defends Jinguuji from Meepon's attacks and encourages him to express his true feelings to Hinata, but he believes men expressing their emotions is a sign of weakness. Schwartz punches him and says it is not a sign of weakness, at which point Jinguuji admits he is jealous of and admires Hinata for possessing the friendliness and social skills he lacks. Hinata breaks free of Calm's influence after being touched, but Meepon becomes autonomous and attempts to murder everyone. Jinguuji and Schwartz destroy the robot and free Hinata after regaining their strength. Jinguuji continues to extol the virtues of Hinata until she becomes embarrassed. Meepon self-destructs, ejecting everyone within the blast radius except Vizd and Calm, who return to the Demon Lord. The rebellion is put down, the hair ornaments are retrieved, and the king apologizes to Ugrain for alienating her. Miria attempts to resign due to her failure, but is stopped by Ugrain. They decide to stop the Demon Lord, and Schwartz reveals that he was aware of his whereabouts. Hinata is embarrassed when she realizes she is in love with Jinguuji while they rest. The following day, Schwartz agrees to accompany Lucius to her hometown, but promises to meet them halfway and assist them. The two embark on their journey to the castle of the Demon Lord. Like and subscribe. See you on the next one.